Hello, Broken Arrow. This is City Council Rewind for the meeting on Tuesday, December 2nd. I am Aaron McCulloch with the communications team here at the City of Broken Arrow, and this is Councilor David Pickle. Councilor Pickle, thank you for joining us after a long discussion, long night.
Good morning. Good morning. Yes, it was a very, it was a long meeting, but it's very informational to talk about our GO bond and recommended projects.
So let's talk about that. What happened last night?
Yeah, so we had the opportunity to have city leadership go through each proposition, show us what those recommended projects are going to be. And then, you know, the process started back in 2023 to get to where we're at today. So it's something that is very detailed, but also very structured in that a tremendous amount of feedback was given from our citizens, from public forums, surveys online, those types of things. So when you think about that, it can, you know, you start at 1.2 billion, and you're like, okay, it's a little bit unrealistic. Let's back it down. So it came down to 415 million in capital improvements. But the great thing about it is it's no new taxes. It does not raise the tax base with this bond. So,
the property tax for propositions 1 through 7. That's
exactly,
right.
Exactly. And then there is another proposition, Proposition 8, which would be a half-cent sales increase for a temporary amount of time, 5 years at the max, to pay for our sports facilities, upgrade those, because that's a tremendous amount of revenue we can get from tournaments that are coming into Broken Arrow, and use that for, you know, sales tax and all that kind of fun stuff. But it was a great one. You know, I just say that if you have time, I recommend people go to the city's website, look at those recommended projects to get a good understanding of what's there, because there is a lot of exciting stuff. Half of it does cover roads.
That's right.
So in Broken Arrow, we love our roads, and we want to make sure that we're continuing to be able to revitalize those roads, build roads, enhance roads, but we need the GO bond money to be able to do that for sure. So now that we've gone through the projects, like I said, go to the website, look for those projects. There'll be a feedback form. Fill that feedback form out and send it to us, because we still want to get the opinion of our citizens and what they're expecting, and if they have any questions like that. And then next council meeting on the 16th, that's when council will be considering accepting the recommendations to authorize action to start finalizing the propositions and the projects within each one of those propositions, and prepare for the resolution for the council to call the election in April, which is actually right around the corner. If you think about, this has been going on for, you know, 2.5 to 3 years possibly. April is going to come pretty fast.
If it's anything like this year has been, April will be here before we know it.
Yep, exactly.
Quickly, I had 3 takeaways from y'all's really good discussion last night. The first, and you alluded to it, was the fact that we don't get to this point without the collaboration with the citizens. You know, all of these recommended projects, there was some citizen feedback that played into them being recommended.
Exactly.
I think that was really important, and I love how the council wants more feedback, and so that feedback form is on the city website. So that was takeaway number 1. Takeaway number 2, like you just hit on, was about half of the $415 million no property tax rate increase proposition is allocated towards streets and roads. I think it was like $205 million, if I remember correctly.
Right.
The takeaway I have from that was that the 2018 bond was a grand total of $211 million.
Right.
So we're just $6 million shy of what the entire 2018 GO bond was that's going to be allocated just to improve roadways.
Right.
And then the third, like you just said there, no property tax rate increase, and that's a really big deal for folks. And so we really do encourage people to look at those projects and go to the website, fill out that form, let us know your thoughts.
Yeah.
I think it was a really good meeting last night.
Yeah, definitely a really good meeting. And you know, one of the things you talked about how almost 50% of it's going to go to roads, and but also another, I think it was a little over 17% goes to public safety.
That's right.
You know, so if you're looking at that, you know, you're already at almost 70% for roads and public safety. But the nice thing about it is the police department did receive a grant.
That's right. This is something else you approved last night.
That's right. They received a $250,000 federal grant to hire 2 new police officers, and this will help subsidize them for a certain amount of time.
Yep.
Funding is through the COPS hiring program. I believe Broken Arrow's taken advantage of that before,
Yep.
if I remember correctly.
Yes, sir.
And like I said, when you have one of the safest cities to work, live, everything else, we want to keep it that way. And this was a great opportunity where we could get some funds to assist with that as well.
Absolutely. One other thing that you all approved last night was a construction contract for the water plant improvements. What was this?
Yeah, so one of the things is that at our water treatment facility, we only have one brine tank. Well, when that gets to a certain point, it gets a little bit too low, it takes a while to get it filled back up, where if something were to happen while that was going on, it could impact the citizens of Broken Arrow with their water and things like that. Well, by adding a second brine tank, that really think about it from like a reserve tank possibly. There's opens up so many things, because then maybe we could even help some other cities if possible, if they ran into a need for water and we're able to do that. This is one where the brine also helps disinfect raw water at the water plant. So I think that's very important. And also, another one, this is the water utilities capital improvement, reinvest the infrastructure to upgrade.
That's right. Yeah. It's about $1 million contract, and I think there's around $20 to $25 million in capital improvements as far as water utilities is concerned in this fiscal year. So this is more progress as promised, if you will.
That's right. Progress is promised.
There were about 60 items on the agendas, and for more information, you can go to the city website and click on Agendas and Minutes in the Government section. Click on the Date Range drop-down list and then select the governing body. Find the meeting date of your choice and select the meeting details. Well, that's it for this edition of City Council Rewind, but I know you've got a message for the folks about this weekend.
Yeah, exactly. So get up Saturday, bright and early, come to our Rotary Pancake Breakfast at the First Methodist Church, and then $5 all-you-can-eat pancakes, bacon, sausage, and then stay for the Civitan Christmas Parade. And then if you haven't had enough Santa after that, you can go to New Orleans Square for Santa's Village from 2 to 4 on Saturday as well. So lots of exciting things going on. We are in the middle of the holiday season.
That's right. It is a great time to be in Broken Arrow. It's always a great time to be in Broken Arrow, not just during the Christmas season, but 12 months out of the year. It's a great time.
Great day in BA.
I appreciate it, Councilor Pickle, and I think we'll see Councilor Green here in 2 weeks for the next City Council Rewind.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching. This is a production of the City of Broken Arrow, the city where opportunity lives.